Hey, what's up? This is Fallen Angels. Glad to see you guys coming back to my videos. If you like the new transition I've been doing a lot more uh, reaction. Please hit like because it'll push me over to other algorithms. I get like 2 likes. One of them is from myself. One of them is usually from my fiance. Like 2 or 3. Just hit the like button if you're enjoying it. It only takes a second. Subscribe too, because a large percent of you guys are non-subscribers. And just hit it, even if you don't want to watch no more videos, just hit it so I can monetize myself. I need the passive income. It would help my situation out. But we got a lot going on in the world. You guys already know. So there's going to be a lot of videos that I'm reacting to that have to do with what's going on in the world. So pay attention and might as well get started right now. Here we go.
What if I told you that 3 of the most brilliant scientists alive have just proven that everything you believe about yourself, your consciousness, and reality itself is completely wrong? I'm talking about Chris Langan, the man with one of the highest recorded IQs on Earth. Federico Fagan, the inventor of the microprocessor, who's now saying consciousness creates matter, not the other way around. And Bernardo Kastrup, the former CERN physicist, who's mathematically proven that your individual mind is an illusion. By the end of this video, you'll understand why humans aren't biological machines, why your thoughts literally create your reality, and why death might not be what you think it is. Right now, as you're watching this, your body contains 50 trillion cells. Each one holds your complete blueprint. That's not how machines work. That's how consciousness works. Your phone processes information in bits, ones and zeros. But you process quantum information that can't be copied, can't be cloned, and exists only within your experience. The moment someone tries to measure your inner world, it changes. This isn't philosophy. This is quantum physics meeting consciousness studies, and the implications are staggering. Here's what these 3 minds discovered. First revelation. Chris Langan's CTMU theory proves that God isn't separate from reality. God is reality, and you're literally an image of God processing information through your consciousness. Think about it this way. You experience colors, emotions, thoughts, but when scientists look at your brain, they only see neurons firing. 2 completely different realities from the same event. Why? Because consciousness isn't produced by the brain. It's what the brain looks like from the outside. Second revelation. Sir Federico Fagan, who invented the technology in every computer you use, now says human consciousness operates on quantum principles that no machine can replicate. While AI processes classical information that can be copied endlessly, your consciousness processes quantum information that's private, irreproducible, and uniquely yours. Third revelation. Bernardo Kastrup has mathematically proven that individual minds are dissociated parts of one universal consciousness. You're not separate from everyone else. You're the universe experiencing itself from one unique perspective. This changes everything we thought we knew about death. If consciousness doesn't come from your brain but only uses it, then death isn't the end. It's like a drone going offline while the operator remains intact. Thousands of near-death experiences where people observe their own surgery while clinically dead suddenly make perfect sense. Prayer and intention. That social media post about humans being electromagnetic oscillators isn't new age nonsense. It's quantum physics. When your thoughts, electrically charged, align with your emotions, magnetically charged, you create a closed electromagnetic circuit that can influence reality at the quantum level. Free will. You do have free will, but it's not random. Your choices emerge from who you are in each moment. Even God can't predict what choices you'll make, because the universe is computationally irreducible.
Guys, it happened again. It happened again, y'all.
That was pretty deep. What she said, all that stuff was deep. I died 8 times. My mom tells my girl all the time, I've died 8 times, came back, because I'm going to make the devil wait a little. But yeah, it's not the end. Believe me, I 8 times, it is not the end. I have a recollection of the first time that it happened. I felt I was a planet, and I was not talking to another planet, but exchanging information, which I have no recollection of what it was that we were exchanging, but I do remember that. I remember that clearly. That was the first time I died, back in 1999, and I don't have too much recollections of the other times, but yeah, it's not the end. It really ain't the end, and yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I have felt I'm sorry, I'm laughing because like I fell down another rabbit hole. Like, okay, so I saw a video of this guy, right? And he's called the London Spy here on TikTok, and he went to like, I think it's an old cathedral in London, and he saw this, like, there's two faces on there that look identical to Putin and Trump. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, you know, maybe it's just someone who looked like him. Cool, I guess. Then he starts walking down Trump Street, and at the end it's Russia Row. Okay, I'm gonna tie this all together. So in 1888, did you know that in 1888 Baron Trump was written about in a book called The Marvelous Adventures of Baron Trump, something like that? Guys, I can't make this up.
Time traveling
So,
book.
mind you, 1888. Oh yeah, I'm whispering because my baby is asleep. For those of y'all that are like, why are you whispering in your own house? You're crazy. Not too much. So anyway, yeah, 10-year-old boy Baron in the book and has a mentor named Don. And yep. Don has a mentor named Pence. Okay, so they travel to Russia trying to study time travel and like this really big hole in the ground that is a portal to another universe. Fast forward to the third book of the series. It's called The Last President, where Don becomes the last president. Do y'all remember when the Orange Man, I'm not gonna say his name, I don't want to be censored. Do y'all remember when the Orange Man was like, oh guys, you only have to vote for me one more time. After this term, you won't have to worry about voting anymore. What do you mean by that? At this point in the book, after Don becomes the last president, people revolt because they feel like he's more of a businessman than a politician. A little too accurate. Now, this is all going to be even freaking crazier. The person that wrote this book was Ingersoll Lockwood. His name was Ingersoll Lockwood. He lived at the same time in the same area of New York as a man named Nikola Tesla that studied time travel. Nikola Tesla had years and years and years of his life that he dedicated to studying time travel. And when he croaked, all of his research on time travel went to the Orange Man's uncle, John Trump. What? What are the chances? Guys, listen, there's a lot of
his chests were missing. I think 18 or something like that. There was supposed to be 58 and there was 43, something like that. And it was Trump's uncle that, you know, collected them. And this does sound a little tied in, but it might be reaching. I don't know. That's your guys' call. It's definitely your guys' call. Things that all go down. There's a lot of things I'll believe, but I don't know about time travel. That, I just can't get into that. I can't get into time travel. But this is weird, guys. This is crazy. This is strange. I don't know. It's 11 p.m. I'm probably going to be up until like 4 a.m. researching this, so I will be back with updates tomorrow. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and follow if you're crazy like me, you have found your people, and comment down below what else y'all want to get into.
I'ma ask y'all again, what was up with that earthquake in California 2 days ago? So just yesterday, after the earthquake, it was all pink and it smelled really weird in the air. And if you watched my last video, you know that radiation has been peaking in California yesterday. And they said it smelled like this outside too. This video belongs to her. Watch this for a minute.
Somebody tell me why it's pink outside? Notice that the sky... What the hell? What is that smell? The sky is pink, you guys. And it smells funky out here.
And the commenters were filled with people that said, I've lived in California my whole life. Never has the sky gone pink after an earthquake, but this time. I have no idea what's going on, but it's very weird. More on this tomorrow. By the way, the drones that have been plaguing New Jersey are now in New York. And as you can see right here in the comments under my New Jersey video on Facebook, everyone has been being plagued by drones, and not just New Jersey. But they are everywhere, including Cali.
September 30th, 2025, major earthquake in the Philippines came in initially at a 7, but was downgraded to 6.9. This was 10 p.m. local time today, and the depth was 10 kilometers beneath the waters of Visayan Sea. Shallow depths mean more shaking on the surface. This regional report says a tsunami advisory is in place with wave heights of less than 1 meter in coastal areas. They recommend staying away from the beach and avoiding the coast. It was felt by more than 500,000 people with very strong shaking across the islands in central Philippines. If you have loved ones over here, I'm going to zoom in on this map so you can see all the different areas that are likely impacted by this. Philippines is no stranger to natural disasters. In 2013, the city of Tacloban was devastated by Super Typhoon Haiyan, and the Philippines lies along the active boundaries of the Philippine Plate, which has produced some of the world's deadliest quakes, including the 1976 Moro quake that took 5,000 lives and the 1990 earthquake that took 2,400. This is a developing story, and I hope everyone is safe as always. I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
The Boulder police now have a complete DNA profile of the killer. It's actually been in the national database since 2008. JonBenet Ramsey's father was just interviewed by Ashley Flowers. The interview was super long, but here's everything you need to know. There's so many updates to this case. The DNA was found in her panties. It contains both her blood and the saliva of an unknown male. This has been used to exclude her father from being a suspect. I'm just here to tell you what happened in the interview. You can still think what you want. This also excludes people who made false confessions, but this shows us that it wasn't just from like random sources like factory workers or innocent people. And even though this DNA has been compared to hundreds and thousands of people in this national database, they have not found a match yet. So whoever did it is still unidentified. The reason why this DNA evidence is so important to the case is because it finally put the rumors to rest that her family was involved in this case, because they tested the family's DNA and it didn't match this unknown man's DNA that was mixed in with her blood that was the unknown man's saliva. There's a lot to cover in this though, so I'm gonna make another part. It's already up. Go check it out and hit the plus for more if you like this stuff.
I saw the little black men. They had longish hair and it was all black, and they had big black eyes. That's all I saw. I saw a glimpse. They kind of turned around and stared and then went back into a kind of like ship. There was like sort of one big one with quite a few little ones all scattered around.
When you say they had big eyes, show me with your hands the size compared to
They were oval, kind of like that.
Oval?
Yes.
I see. And could you see anything else on the face?
No, I couldn't. All I could see was his hair, and when he turned around, and then he...
Were you afraid?
Yes, I was.
Now this is for entertainment purposes only. But Brenda,
I like him.
You are on some Mickey Mouse thing. Mickey Mouse thing?
Brother.
You think this is Disneyland. You are not a truther. All those people claiming that they're truthers, that they're woke. Yeah? Let me ask you this question. So you think the 3-Eye Atlas is real? Oh, you son of a ballbag. Who told you about this? Who told you that there was something in the sky that's coming to Earth and had something to do with aliens? Who told you this? Because I know the body slayer didn't tell you. Who told you about the aliens? Anyhow, you tell me that you heard it from the guy with the hammer and chisel? Oh, I've got your ass. You believe what they said? Yeah, you're still in the Matrix, bro. You're still in the Matrix. You're still plugged in, bro. So many people have been saying to me, how do you feel about the 3-Eye Atlas? I'm like, the Atlas? What, ain't that something? What, looking at maps? Atlas. They're like, yeah, 3-Eye Atlas. 3-Eye? Was that the new AI? I was confused. The Bully Slayer don't know about no 3-Eye Atlas. I'm only doing this video because people ask me, what do you think? This is what I think. I think if you think that there is some rock, spaceship, alien thing that's flying through the sky, that's gonna fly through the dome and invade Earth, and you tell me that you heard it from the guy with the horse wagon, then I think you don't really believe in the flat Earth. You don't believe in flat Earth. You believe in the globe. You think things are spinning out there, don't you? So what, the Earth's spinning and the 3-eye atlas is catching up with Earth. Oh no, actually you think the Earth is flat still. So we're just sitting and the atlas is flying through the sky. Like, come on, it's bully slaying season. So from now on, anytime you have a question about the mainstream, I want you to send it to the bully slayer and watch me bully slay that.
This is mind-blowing and something to think about. Do you ever think about what happens to the bodies after you leave a funeral procession? Why do I ask? Because there's a viral video that's going around where a guy explains how he allegedly believes, because of the weight of some of the caskets, that there are no bodies in them. So this gentleman right here claims that while he was on his side gig of digging graves, he's seen things that have led him to believe that there are no bodies inside the caskets. So basically, while he was digging a grave, the cemetery director walked over to him and said, "Hey, we need to dig up that grave." So he went ahead and they dug up the casket. Upon digging up the casket, it came up uneven, a little crooked, sideways is what he says, like it didn't have enough weight in it. So after that, the funeral director told him it should be lifted up manually. So they went ahead, they lifted it up manually, and that's when he felt that it wasn't heavy enough, and he said to himself, "I don't think there's a body inside this." So he basically asked, "Why is this casket so light?" The funeral director turned to him and said, "Don't ask questions that you're not ready for." One thing I want you to think about now that this story has come to light and you never thought about it, I never thought about it, there are 144,000 cemeteries across the US as of 2025. One question you should be asking is, when was the last time you seen them build a new cemetery? So of course, I went and did some digging. Why haven't you seen new cemeteries being built? Here is what came up when I searched for it. Land availability. They are building like crazy all over the United States. Therefore, where are you going to put cemeteries? Increased land costs. But funerals cost an arm and a leg. Excuse the pun. Environmental concerns. Alternate burial options and grave recycling. You heard what I said. Grave recycling. There is a such thing. In some cases, cemeteries are expanding their capacity by reusing burial spaces through a practice called grave recycling. So the question remains, with so many people across the United States, people pass away every day, every minute. What's going on with the bodies? Where are they going? Are you thinking about this? Is it something that I've never thought about this until I listened to that viral video, and I'm starting to say, Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Poor Jimmy. Poor Jimmy. I tried to tell you that hashtag body slayer algorithm is in full effect, and you didn't believe me. But when I say we got your ass, oh, we got your ass. So I'm calling out to all you fellow bully slayers. Report for duty. From now on, hashtag bully slay the algorithm. So let me explain what an algorithm is. A data tracking system in which an individual's internet search history and browsing habits are used to present them with similar or related material. So it's us against the machine. Let's see if we can hold our weight against the AI algorithm. So from now on, I want you to like, comment, share, and repost every one of my videos you see. And if you're truly a bully slayer, you'll go and look at my old videos, repost, like, comment, and share them too. Yeah? Hashtag bully slay the algorithm. I want to see that on every post. I want to see that everywhere. It's bully saying season.
Yo, this is crazy, y'all. I'm gonna play this video and pay attention to the guy in the black shirt on the left side.
Over the last 10 years, counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
Alright, you got that? Now pay attention to the guy that's in the crowd. He got a brown shirt on, and Stu Peters is gonna explain it to y'all.
That's the assassin. That's the guy that pushes the detonator, which perfectly aligns with the explosion that pushes that projectile through Charlie's right side of his neck and out the left side, creating the exit wound. That might just look like the chaos that you would expect after someone was publicly executed in broad daylight in front of 3,000 people. But in no way did that trigger man, that assassin in the brown shirt with the sunglasses, act alone. We have video now that shows the handoff of this remote detonator.
Let me tell you all about a coincidence, and you all tell me if it's as wild as I think it is. Back in the 90s, when I was in high school, I was an extra on a couple of films, and one in particular was Snake Eyes, a film that starred Nicolas Cage. And do you want to know where I was an extra on that film? At the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Okay? Do you want to know the plot of that movie? It involves an assassination of a politician named Charlie Kirkland. He was shot. The name of the person who shot Charlie Kirkland was named Lincoln Tyler. The tagline for the movie Snake Eyes: believe everything except your eyes. Does anyone else find that odd?
Did you know that when a cat disappears, it's not always just chance?
Yeah, stuff with Charlie Kirk. Can't speak too much on it, but this other guy that I seen on TikTok, he said that he was a military man, sniper rifling and all that, that part of the military. He was used for that, and the caliber of the gun that the kid Tyler had, it would have easily, it's like shooting through paper, would have easily went through him and might have even hit the people behind him. Like, he's saying it was not the gun. And the messed up thing, where's the autopsy? If there's a possible or obvious assassination, there should be an autopsy, especially if you're saying it's that kid, because then you can get the way the bullet came, pointing it towards him, like everything that has to do with a case. But from what I understand, there was none, and that is like the first ever, like in history of at least known America, like where there's not an autopsy done, especially for the case. So there's no bullet now, there's nothing. So this guy Tyler would have a case, like you can't keep him. He has a decent lawyer. There's no bullet, there's no body, there's no trajectory, pattern, proof, there's nothing. They already did what they did with the body, and everything was so damn quick, and they did not have an autopsy. So all you got is evidence of just a bullet casing, and that is it. And that doesn't prove anything. That's substantial evidence. That's just, you can say something, but you could say the opposite. It's they screwed up. If he's got a decent lawyer, he's gonna get off. The way they handled Charlie Kirk. And I personally think it was something else. I can't talk about it because I don't want to get my video flagged or taken down or strike against me. But I think some of the stuff that the guy said on the other video was true. I think it was something else, and I think Tyler was just the patsy, someone they used. And if it was, because there's other videos where it's not really looking like him, and the text that he was writing his man or whatever is not how a person that age types. It was proper grammar, with proper punctuations, and just written like an older man, like a script. So I don't know. That's all I can say about the issue, because I want this video to go through. You know what I mean? So just use your head on this, and just remember, we're all in a script. This is all part of a fucking script. You know what I mean?
Most people assume it ran away, got lost, or simply decided not to return. But what many don't realize is that a cat's presence in your life is rarely accidental. Cats aren't just companions, they are silent guardians. They perceive what we cannot. They absorb heavy energies, protect your spirit, and quietly stand between you and harm. When a cat chooses to enter your life, it's not by coincidence. It sees you, and it stays to watch over you, facing unseen darkness that might have hurt you, even broken you. And when it vanishes without a trace, it might not be abandoning you. Its mission could be complete. It may have carried away something dark, a spiritual weight you didn't even know you were holding. The most profound part, that energy often never returns, because your cat took it with them. So, if your cat ever disappeared without warning, try not to see it as loss. See it as a final gift, a quiet act of love, a soul that came to shield yours and left only when you no longer needed protecting.
I need everybody to stop right now and Google what the Haas-Bach Memorandum is and read that entire article of what that meeting was and what took place in that meeting, and look what's happening this Tuesday with Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump.
In 2005, this man would terrorize an entire community in Maine, and he's never been caught. In the sleepy town of Cape Elizabeth, this man, who became known as the Cape Intruder, began breaking into people's homes just to watch them sleep. The Cape Intruder would only break into homes where doors and windows were left unlocked, and he would never take anything or harm anybody, but he would just stand over the victims and watch them sleep. Some people would wake up to him standing over them, but he would always disappear before they could act. It left the entire town terrified and paranoid to go to sleep. It got to the point that there were so many break-ins that the community set up neighborhood watches to try and catch the man doing this. Victims came forward and worked with police to create this composite sketch. But the break-ins eventually stopped and the man was never caught. And to this day, the Cape Intruder is still out there.
The picture above shows the 180-year-old head of Diogo Alves, who was known as one of Portugal's most notorious serial killers. Alves started his life of crime after he would sneak into random farmers' homes and wait for them to arrive, and when they did, he would sneak attack them, murder them, and then throw their bodies over a nearby cliff. Alves was said to have committed around 70 murders, and after he was sentenced to death by hanging, scientists decapitated him and took his head to study the thought process of a serial killer. Not only did Alves murder 70 people that he didn't know, he also murdered his entire family, and still to this day, no one knows what triggered him to commit these horrific murders. And if you're still here, you probably want to know where you can visit it, and it is in Lisbon's Faculty of Medicine, so if you're ever in Lisbon, give the head a visit.
Francis just passed in one of the craziest conspiracies I've seen, where people are fully convinced that this man played the role of the Pope and that this is all central casting. And I mean, people are super convinced that this is real, and I'm really interested to know what you guys think, because I don't know, I mean, they kind of look similar. A lot of people not analyze the ears and stuff and say everything's the same, including the face and like these certain blemishes. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this.
I'm going to tell you guys about this conspiracy theory because it's really fucking cool. Today we're going to be talking about John Titor. Now this has to do with time travel, UFOs, world wars. It's going to be very long and we have a lot to get through, so get a snack. Now, John Titor was a personality that popped up in November of 2000 claiming to be a time traveler from the year 2036. He popped up on online forums, which is very fucking old. It's pre-wireless internet, before any sort of social media. I'm assuming it's kind of like Twitter. You make a post, people can read it. I don't fucking know, I wasn't born. John was actually only active on these forums for 4 months, from November of 2000 to March of 2001. John had stated that within his timeline, World War III had broken out in 2013. Clearly that didn't happen for us, but we'll get into why later. Now before this, in 2005, John said that a civil war broke out in the US between the US people and the US government. Fucking accurate. Around 2010 or 2011, Russia had gotten involved, declaring war on the US and siding with the people. They began bombing major cities within the US to try and create the downfall of the US government. Within this time frame, other countries just jumped in on that shit, and World War III happened. Now there was 2 major losses that John talked about within this time frame. Number 1 was 8 billion lives, which is a lot of fucking people. Number 2 was the language of code, which for technological advances and trying to rebuild after a world war is very fucking important. Now, John was actually a soldier who fought in the World War and was now a part of a branch of the military that dealt with the time travel missions. Now, John had stated that his grandfather had worked with a piece of technology back in 1975, and this piece of technology held the function that could translate anything into any language, including the language of code. This piece of technology was the IBM 5100, a very old computer that came out in September of 1975. John's mission was to go back in time, get this piece of technology, and take it back to his timeline to try and help progress. Now, John is telling us this 25 years later, after the mission was already completed. As to why he was back, I'm not really sure. Really unimportant to the story, but John had said that he was actually able to go to his parents and convince them that he was their son. And for years, he lived within their home. He lived with his child self, like when he was a baby. Which, like, sure, you don't have to believe it, but like, we're gonna go over why I believe it. But that's just fucking weird. Now again, John had disappeared in March of 2001. Now everybody kind of thought John was bullshitting because this computer was not known to hold this function whatsoever. It was not publicly known at all. Later in 2001, after John's disappearance, that IBM actually came out and claimed that this function was factual. It actually did exist within this computer. And the only reason they kept it silent was so their competitors could not get a hold of it. Within this 4-month time period of John being active on these online forums, he was very open to questions, especially the ones about time travel. And he did not hold back as to explain how it worked and everything. There's actually a lot of photos if you want to go to his posts. There's a website, johntitor.com. It shows everything. It's very helpful. I'm going to put his posts a little out of order just simply to make this more understandable. But John had stated that CERN, a corporation that's kind of quiet within the world, was going to be the first one to make the theory of black hole travel, which is using black holes to time travel, pretty much. Now, many years after John had said this, CERN actually came out with that theory. And since then, they have been playing with black holes and testing them for fucking years. Another fucking thing that John knew, and he fucking shouldn't. I'm gonna read off of my iPad because it's gonna get very scientific. John said that time travel was possible because of 2 black holes called microsingularities. If you eject electrons onto them and alter their spin, it creates a gravity field that allows you to move back and forth within time. John also said that his time machine weighed 500 pounds. It was the size of a suitcase. So easily being able to transport this around was very difficult. So how did they troubleshoot that? They put it in a fucking car. Yes, like Back to the Future. John traveled back and forth within time in a car. A car that I guess he would just hide in the fucking woods or something so nobody knew about it. John had also went over the theory that time is not linear like we believe. It is not back and forth within time. He actually went into the theory of parallel universe. The metaphor he used was a funhouse mirror. No matter what direction you look, there is infinite numbers of yourself. When you walk forward or backward, so does your reflection. That is how time travel works. When you walk within time, so does all of your alternate selves. There has to be at least one of you in every single timeline, which makes it impossible for you to enter your timeline when you come back. They will be very similar, but there will be minor differences within your timeline. And that is the same with who comes back. So if John was in this timeline and he traveled to this timeline, he would come back in this timeline. But the person who entered back to this timeline would be him, but with minor differences. It is not the same version of him. It's someone from a parallel universe, but is him, if that makes sense. It's very fucking weird, but that's how it works, I guess. Now, John was very good at posting drawings and diagrams and pictures of his car onto these posts. Pictures that to this day scientists have not been able to find the origin of whatsoever. Pictures that scientists have actually studied for years and said that his math and scientific facts are astonishing. This man knows what he's fucking talking about. And it's science that we haven't even discovered yet. People used his photos to learn shit. how is that even fucking possible? Like it doesn't make sense. Now, one thing that John had also stated within one of his posts was, this is his quote, "My goal is not to be believed. Perhaps I should let you all in on a little secret. No one likes you in the future. This time period is looked at as being full of lazy, self-centered, civically ignorant sheep." Now, he is saying this in 2000, prior to the World War that had happened in his timeline. But we have went far past 2013, so I'm not really sure if this is still believed or not, but we're pretty fucked up. Now, as I said, John was very good at answering questions, but there was a few that made him very, very mad. Now, as a lot of us probably would, people wanted to know lottery winning numbers. And this would piss John off, because this timeline is known as greedy, money-hungry assholes. And John did not like that. He had also stated that within his timeline, mass media was just fucking garbage. It was always some filtered bullshit that they would give the public that wouldn't even inform them of what was actually going on. So they turned to content creators, which back in 2000 wasn't even a fucking thing. YouTube, nothing existed. So for him to talk about content creators and people turning away from the news and towards other people who do research is fucking insane. Yet 1000% accurate. That's literally what we do on TikTok. Which RIP. So those are just a few factual things that John had went over in the story of John. But there's more. We're going to be moving on to aliens and UFOs, which John did go over. Now, of course, UFOs are a thing that we are currently fucking dealing with, which my brain can't even fucking believe. There are aliens and UFOs in our world. But John had stated that aliens are not some little green people running around that travel to us from a different planet. Aliens are time travelers. They're just people traveling from a future civilization. And their UFOs are just progressed time machines. Better than even his car. Now, obviously, this is why there's no news about aliens being seen or little green people being seen in these UFOs. Because they could easily blend in with us. They're just fucking humans from the future. Now, considering everything else that John had said that became accurate, I fucking believe this. It makes sense. It also makes sense why it isn't more of a threat to the government. They're probably working together. Now, the theory of why our timeline is later than John's is, because World War III didn't happen in 2013. A civil war didn't happen in 2005. But the civil war is happening now. Now, John had said that when you travel back, there is a delay of 1 to 2 seconds. It alters the timeline. And without creating drastic changes, you can only go back in time 60 years. Now, John traveled from 2036 to 1975. 61 years into the past. That alone could create issues. Now, 1 to 2 seconds isn't that big of a delay, but when it is on the scale of time and space, which is infinite, 1 to 2 seconds becomes years, decades even, which is why our timeline has been altered and delayed. He also said that every single time he makes a post on these online forums, he is a different version of himself. He would make a post, go back to his timeline, and come back. It was always a different version of him from a different parallel universe making these posts. Meaning this is not the first time people have came. Our timeline has been altered so fucking much. And I think that's why there's a lot of UFOs, is because they're knowing that we are about to go into World War, which has already fucking started. And maybe they're trying to help. It's just a theory, so don't shoot me.
On October 25th of 2022, a paramedic posted a video of something freaky that occurred during his lunch break. The video is pretty short, so not much happens, but it's a certain detail caught in this footage that makes it quite disturbing. The video begins with the paramedic filming inside a hospital where a couple of surgeons are getting ready to transfer a very sick patient to a different wing. The paramedic walks out of the hospital to record them coming through. It isn't until later that the doctors arrive with the sick patient, who according to them passed away only hours later. The paramedic then stops recording. Now, it was only after finishing work that the paramedic had watched this video and noticed something strange about it. Looking back at the footage, they noticed that during the time they were waiting outside for the doctors to arrive, something unusual was caught in the background. Take a look. If you look closely at the hallway inside the hospital, a dark, shadow-like figure can be seen standing at the end of the hall. It's there for just a few seconds before suddenly disappearing from sight. The paramedic has no idea as to who or even what this might have been, but judging by its appearance, viewers believe that an entity of some sort was seen. They further add that this entity might have been death itself, considering that the patient in this video passed away that same day. Yet it's still not sure as to what was captured. But one thing that's certain is that whoever or whatever this was didn't seem to belong in this hospital. It remains unknown as to who or what was caught on camera.
Now that I've done the ancestry of John Nelson Darby, this photograph speaks 1,000 words. I can't wait to show you the information I found that nobody in the world knows. Here's the ancestry of John Nelson Darby, the inventor of dispensationalism and the rapture in the mid-1800s. Did you know that the rapture was not a part of Christianity until this man, who grew up in a terrifying castle called Leap Castle, which his ancestors, the Darbys, held onto for about 6 generations, and prior to that they intermarried with the O'Carrolls, who held onto it for hundreds of years. And they said that there was a ghost there that's been haunting it since the 1200s called the Elemental. That is the most terrifying ghost and the most haunted castle in all of Ireland. The stories about the castle were so terrifying I couldn't even bear to listen. And in 1930, when they finally sold the castle, they cleaned out a dungeon at the bottom that was like filled with spikes where they would just shove people down. 150 bodies they found, estimating, that were being thrown in there until 1930. John Nelson Darby was called John Nelson Darby because he got that namesake because his father's brother fought under Lord Nelson, who won the Battle of the Nile in 1798 and basically kept Napoleon from continuing to spread his conquering across Europe, and made it possible in the near future for the Suez Canal to be built. And do you know who funded this Battle of the Nile? Take a guess. Take a guess. Late 1700s?
Its walls were carefully carved. Its angles were symmetrical. The floor had carved platforms. The design did not follow typical engineering methods for practical tunnels. Instead, many believe it served a religious or symbolic function. Its direction points toward the Mediterranean Sea. The layout suggests it may lead to a hidden chamber that lies submerged or sealed beneath layers of earth and stone. Parts of the tunnel have collapsed. Others are filled with water. Large portions remain unexplored because of the risks involved. Flooding has made access difficult. Some sections may be completely underwater now. Martinez and her team had to use advanced scanning tools to explore certain areas. Robots and sonar were used to map areas they could not physically enter. Even so, what they were able to access was enough to change everything. Martinez proposed that this was not just a random passage.
It's a shaft, and we are trying to find out what it lead us.
She believed it was a sacred route. It may have been used as a hidden entry into a royal burial site. The evidence lined up with her belief that Cleopatra built her tomb in a place where it could never be found easily. Under Egyptian law, excavation teams are not allowed to dig in certain areas. These zones are protected due to structural risk and sacred importance. Some of these off-limits zones lie directly in the tunnel's projected path. Martinez has stated that she respects all legal boundaries, but she has made it clear that this tunnel could be the last road that leads to Cleopatra. Shortly after the tunnel was discovered, strange things reportedly began to happen. According to unconfirmed sources, warnings were issued to Martinez. People close to the excavation team claimed she was told to stop all digging. Some said she received anonymous messages urging her to leave the site immediately. These messages were said to be serious and threatening. They did not come from the Egyptian government, but from unknown individuals or groups. The warnings told her that some secrets were never meant to be found. Others suggested the discoveries could change history in ways that some people were not ready to accept. Despite these warnings, Martinez continued. According to sources, she was supported by high-ranking officials who believed in her work. Some of them said the truth had been buried long enough. They backed her efforts and gave her the resources needed to push forward. Still, the team remained cautious. Security was tightened. Access to the dig site became more restricted. Only a few trusted people were allowed near the area where the tunnel curved closest to the sea. What happened next has never been fully confirmed. Leaked information claimed that something was found inside a hidden chamber connected to the tunnel. Martinez has refused to comment directly on the rumors.
That's insane, because they found Cleopatra's tomb. That'd be big, because she played an important part of history. If you guys know anything about the history of Rome and Cleopatra and Mark Antony and the other Roman guy, yeah, that'd be big. That'd be a big thing.
And we drive there, it's 2.5 hours away, and it looked exactly like my vision. And immediately in my heart, like, I cannot explain the feeling in my heart, like, it just felt warm, and I'm like, this is it, like, this is my vision. And you guys are like, wow, this sounds like such an amazing story, God is good, God is great, He is all the time, but there's more to it. And this is just, wow, looking back, I'm like, God really, He just loves us so much. But so I secured that wedding venue. It's great. Everything's good to go. I signed the papers. I called Drew. He was like in sick at the PA school at the time, and so he couldn't tour with me at a test that day. And I was like, this is it. This is my vision. And so fast forward to the wedding day. Fast forward to the wedding week. The entire week of the wedding, it says it's going to pour down, storm down that whole week. Not only that, it's going to be hot.
Like something out of a horror movie, Courtney's dog begins to growl at an empty space. They walk slowly and cautiously, as if scared to approach whatever is there. Then, after leaving the room, this happens. A baby bottle slightly moves before plunging right next to Courtney. Naturally, she gets up and leaves in a panic frenzy with her baby. Something weird had just happened, and she wasn't having it.
There you go. A couple things my fiance put on there for me and for you.
This is why I've said the dates that they are giving us are incorrect. We used to have 13 months, 28 days, and 1 day of rest, even in the Bible. So look, we have 13 lunar cycles of 28 days, 13 zodiac signs. Every turtle shell you'll find, 13 sections in the middle, and 28 notches along the side, all to keep us disconnected from these natural cycles of our realm. Listen to David Strait explain it more.
Our calendar is not quite right. We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days, with one day, the day of resurrection, Easter, as a neutral day. That's our 365 days. We've actually got 13 constellations, not 12. This same calendar is very close to the Mayan calendar, but it's also very close to several ancient Sanskrit calendars. What does sept mean? 7. I thought that was the 9th month. What does oct mean? What does nov mean? What does dec mean?
10.
It's supposed to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. Jan is 11. Feb is 12. March is 13. April is our first month. Babies are born in the spring, the 1st of April, Easter. This is the start of our new year. It's the start of spring, when the flowers start coming up, the grass starts coming up, the trees start leafing out, the babies are born.
That's probably also why they have April 1st is April Fool's Day, because we're the fools that are buying into this calendar. April 1st should be the first of the year, you know. But a bunch of sheeple.
That's the first day. Our neutral day, day 1. The day we rest and celebrate the resurrection, the new beginning, the beginning of Christ. April is month 1. lost a month in there. Where is it?
We are on the precipice of losing access to the internet because congressional members are hosting meetings this week trying to garner support for KOSA, the censorship bill. Let me explain. KOSA, or the Kids Online Safety Act, is a bill that was introduced and failed twice already. But it's a bill that would require online services, games, websites, and so forth to set up systems to protect the kids from things like harmful content, targeted ads, and so forth. Senators Blumenthal and Blackburn are planning on holding House meetings this week to garner support for it. The problem is it's a censorship bill. It needs to be abundantly clear that KOSA is the first step in major censorship and surveillance laws that are already in motion in similar aspects in the UK, and especially when you couple KOSA with things like the Screen Act, the Blockbeard Act, and the Anti-Digital Piracy Act that have also been introduced in this country this year. Please call these House representatives. Go to Omar's Big Sister's account right here. She has a link, and you can find all of their phone numbers, as well as a script if you don't know what to say. You do not have to be a resident in those districts, and you can leave a voicemail. Both Democrats and conservative Republicans have expressed their concerns over this bill. If you value your freedom in general and online, it would be a good idea for you to call these representatives.
Even in England, London, or whatever, like those areas, just writing certain things on the internet can get you prison time. You know, it's jail time even, at least. You know, like the police would just show up at your house. It's just something that, you know, opinion that you typed. Like it's getting pretty crazy over there in this digital, like I forgot where, somewhere down south. I forgot where they froze 83 million or something like that bank accounts because they weren't digitized themselves. They wouldn't get digitized or whatever. And other people are making it to where you ain't gonna be able to work if you ain't digitized, whether it be on I don't know if they're starting on clothing and then eventually an implant, you know, work their way up to an implant, whether it be in your skull or your hand. Sounds like the mark of the beast to me, but this world is getting scary, and sooner or later it's going to come to America. Right now they're just testing it out around the world and seeing how it works out. But if we don't stick together and fight, you know, for what we feel is right and with the Constitution and all that stuff, we're going to fall. You know, we're going to crumble. You know, the internet's not going to be the same no more for us, you know, where we can talk about the truth, about real news, and our personal opinions. All that will be blocked, you know, and they use saving the kids and the kids' welfare as the excuse for it, but it's not the case, because these people are the same people that are probably on the Epstein files, you know, and they're not really worried about kids. And you've seen how many pizza jokes and talks on talk shows with Jennifer Aniston, with Happy Gilmore guy, Adam Sandler, you know, tons of them, Ellen, you know, all these people, you know, a lot of them left the country too, you know. This world is getting messed up, man. It's getting really messed up. AI is taking over all people's jobs, and I don't even know. It's just getting messed up.
Shocked Candace Owens hasn't shared this footage yet on her episodes. Maybe she hasn't seen it yet. Feel free to tag her below. I shared this last night on my stories, and it feels so strange. Watch with me. So the strange thing that stands out to me here is, why did they run in the direction of the table and where everything happened? Why didn't they run around the table? Why were they going behind the table to do this exchange? It felt like a decided on spot to meet up and exchange something real quick between all the chaos. At first it felt like the guy went back there to help or something, but then he didn't. He just stood back up and then ran around.
There you go. Hope you guys are happy. All my videos will have a few of them on, so you better watch the whole video.
It's inbreeding again. Let's talk about it. You probably know that your blood has a molecule called hemoglobin in it. The hemoglobin's job is to pick up oxygen atoms from your lungs and distribute them around your body, and it does so with the help of iron. You can think of hemoglobin as a little car for oxygen and iron as the seatbelt. But there's two kinds of iron in your blood, ferrous and ferric. Ferrous iron is a really powerful harness that's really good at holding onto oxygen, so it's what your hemoglobin uses. But ferric iron is a lot weaker, and oxygen tends to slip away from it. Hemoglobin with that weaker seatbelt installed is called methemoglobin. Normally in your cells there's a protein that converts ferric iron into ferrous iron, essentially reinforcing that seatbelt. But if that protein is dysfunctional, methemoglobin will start to build up in your blood. And because blood's red color comes from oxygen-carrying hemoglobin, if there's too much methemoglobin, your blood goes from red to bluish brown. If you have more than 20% methemoglobin in your blood, your oxygen levels can get dangerously low. But if you have kind of between 10 and 20% and very pale skin, you kind of just turn blue and not much else happens. So the Fugit family lived happy and healthy lives. And this weird genetic trait persisted in their family because... Okay, look, in the early 1800s in rural Kentucky, there weren't that many people to have babies with. So they kept it in the family, and the family stayed blue. Until a doctor came along who gave them a chemical called methylene blue. Despite being blue itself, this chemical is capable of reducing ferric iron back down to ferrous iron, essentially reinforcing that seatbelt the way that that protein was supposed to be doing all along. And it worked. Within minutes of being injected with methylene blue, the color went away. For the first time in their lives, the blue people of Kentucky were just regular people of Kentucky.
An ancient Native American prophecy just came to pass in Yellowstone last week, and it has to do with this black wolf, and it's putting the religious and scientific communities into a tizzy. The prophecy was said by Chief Sitting Walker, the last chief of the Iroquois, or by Bruce Springsteen said it. I'm forgetting which one said it, but that's not what's important. What's important is the words in the prophecy. It said, "The white men came and stole our naturage and our animalage and the lands of our fathers, and they will have them for now. But when a black wolf crosses the pathway south," well, this is a black wolf that crossed the pathway south last week in Yellowstone. These are super rare. Only 1 in 7 wolves are born with black furage, and so you don't ever see them in your lifetime. Well, last week, a resident here that was just visiting the park saw it cross the road south and filmed this video, and the experts are saying it's a fulfillment of the prophecy. The prophecy continues that when this happens, our sky cousins will come in clay saucer from the sky, and they will redeem the people and return the lands to the fathers of our land, is what it says. Well, last week as well, this was filmed above Yellowstone National Park, and people are saying it's a UFO and a UAP, and that this prophecy is starting, but a lot of people don't know what it means, that the lands will be returned, but I don't know. I'm curious what you think.
They just found 383 bodies in a so-called funeral home, y'all. Somebody tell me how nearly 400 bodies was discovered in one building and nobody noticed for years. They wasn't cremating them, y'all. They was letting the bodies sit, developing a smell. Do you know how strong that smell had to been? And nobody knew? Yeah, all right. This was at a crematorium right near the U.S. and Mexico border, y'all. And get this, y'all.
And just getting some fresh air.
Cut it off.
And I wanted to thank everybody for getting that video to 1 million views. That was pretty crazy. I didn't expect that at all. Usually I'm stuck in like the 200-300 range, but out here in Appalachia, you kind of experience some really weird stuff, and it's hard to explain, but I like hanging back in the woods. It's just really creepy sometimes. You know, do you guys... all the noise just disappeared.
Yeah. All the bugs and all that noise. It's quiet.
Time to go.
The yogurt shop murders in Austin have finally been solved. So I'm walking my dogs right now, but let me give you an update. So if you don't know the story, in December of 1991, these four young girls were found murdered in a yogurt shop in Austin, Texas. Two of them were sisters. They were all under the age of 18, and they had been brutally murdered and violated with ice cream scoopers. The killer then set the building on fire. So for years, this has been the most infamous unsolved homicide case in all of Texas, and one of the most infamous series of unsolved murders in all of America. Well, here is the new suspect. His name is Robert Eugene Brashers. He is a serial killer, and unfortunately, he's already dead. So we won't be able to get any answers from him. But according to authorities, the DNA found on scene at the yogurt shop actually matched up to DNA left by this guy at other crime scenes. Now, it's known that Robert had already killed 3 people. He was known to have been a serial killer and a rapist, and he seemed to have a fascination with underage girls. Now, I don't know truly why it took them so long to test this DNA and figure this out. Now, I will keep you guys updated on what happens next, but I have to say, this is one of the biggest pieces of true crime news, I'd say, of the entire year. And my wife and I actually started off our podcast, Murder in America, by covering this story 4 years ago. So it's absolutely amazing to me to see that justice may finally be served here.
The most disturbing visitor ever caught on camera.
Hi, it's me again at 513. This whole time I have been trying to make sense of what you truly want. Like, what is the real reason you are here and who are you? This is like beyond creepy and scary, and I mean, people have been giving me all kinds of different advice and opinion on what I should do, and
She only comes at night, hides her face, talks about saving the dogs. Some call it a skit, others say it's spiritual warfare. The dogs sense it. The comments beg him to call the police. But what if she isn't human at all? The internet can't decide if this is staged, but the symbolism is haunting. A stranger at your gate at night, asking to be invited in, like folklore warnings of vampires and spirits who need permission before they cross your threshold. Some say he should rebuke her in the name of Jesus. Others believe she's bait, a distraction for something worse waiting in the dark. And yet he stands there, talking to her, while the unease builds. If this is real, why hasn't the police stopped her? If it's fake, why does the footage feel so unsettling? Whether it's a skit, a stalker, or something far more sinister, one thing is certain: some doors should never be opened, and some visitors should never be invited in.
To know, why are you actually here? Who are you, and why are you here? Like, what do you actually want?
There you go. Gotta watch the whole video to find these. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Thank my fiance. Damn.
What kind of hybrid animals are they making for this wolf to be the size of a horse? So you can hear a dog barking at this wolf. And you can tell from how far the guy is. This thing is huge. This thing is a horse-sized wolf. Now he's mad. That's a good-sized dog, too. I'm not sure what happens at the end of this video, but I sure do hope the dog's okay. But this is definitely not a regular-sized wolf. It kind of makes you wonder if this thing escaped some kind of government lab. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Stay weird.
Have you ever seen a crop circle being formed? This is a doorbell camera that captured part of the crop circle being created. And as you can see, it looks like strong winds a strong force. It almost looks like water, but there you go.
What's that? Oh, the guy from Panama is now in the hospital from touching the creature that came from the meteorite that we have no idea what it is because he decided to touch it without gloves. Oh boy. Yeah, he isn't just having a simple stay at the hospital. He has been in there for several days and it doesn't appear that he's getting any better. But the story doesn't stop there because if you recall, he actually sent many little pieces of this to people around the world to check out and see if their pieces would grow and turn into this creature. Oh, fuck! And wouldn't you believe it? Yes, they are now turning into a creature. They're starting to get animated and moving around. And that's the issue, is he is ill over this thing. And now it's been sent all over the world. So who knows what's going to happen from here. Oh, goody. There's going to have to be a very specific way to get rid of these things, but we need to go ahead and get it done. Okay.
There you go. Oiled up.
Oh, wow. So you're telling me that my body is missing the most important antioxidant in the universe? And that drinking regular bottled water actually speeds up cell depletion? You motherfuckers. So this whole time, we've been buying alkaline water when we really need hydrogen water. Oh. No wonder we're getting sick and feeling bad. Because this is your cell on unstructured water versus structured water. Y'all see that? Oh. Y'all see that? Those hexagonal shapes, that's the universe starting from start to finish. Human conception. When sperm meets egg, same process, start to finish. A healthy cell regenerating itself, start to finish. Y'all see the patterns? This whole time, they have been playing in our faces, bro. Bro, this is it. This is what's missing to electrify and charge the water. And when paired with actual copper, you actually get magnetized structured water. This is why I teach y'all how to make structured water at home when you lack what's necessary. This is the closest thing to molecular hydrogen than regular water. This is how you change your life. Link in bio.
You know, I really hate doing this, to be honest, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news. But take one look at Justin and tell me what you see. The Justin Bieber that we all loved and knew is never coming back. You know, it seems like everybody that goes to hang out with a certain individual, who I will not name because this video will get taken down, a truth for you, you know who I'm talking about, always has HIV or HEP or has something happen to their faces. This was just a short time ago. And he's not coming back. They got him. Oh, they got him. Oh, for sure. And he was never going to speak out about anything over the love of money. And his mother just posted that she wanted to pray for him, that he would release all of his mental anguish and things like that. Well, she could have just given a simple apology for selling her son. And he was much younger than what we were led to believe. I'll leave with that.
Someone said the stars in the sky are actually just air holes punched into a container because we're just in a human zoo. I know that's the weirdest sentence you've ever fucking heard before. But if y'all ever went down the rabbit hole that we're actually in a human zoo for aliens entertainment? But you know, just like at the zoo and there's different enclosures for different kinds of animals, do you think there's other alien species sitting around? Like, no mom, I don't want to see the humans today. Let's go see the xenomorphs.
Guys, watch this to the end.
I have the heart of a small boy. I keep it in a jar on my desk.
I bet you get a lot of mileage out of that one.
I have never used that line before in my entire life.
I can tell you this ain't no joke. Let me know your thoughts and comments below.
My video talking about Oracle owning TikTok to restrain and retrain the algorithm got taken down for harassment and bullying.
There you go. Gotta watch the whole video.
Are there vampires in Ohio? Because honestly, this video makes me believe that there are. And also, being a blue-collar worker, a serviceman, going to people's homes to fix things, you find odd things, right? But do you expect to find an actual coffin in the basement? Because that's literally what this man Jack found. Like, what is going on? It's not Halloween. And the way it's just propped up, I have so many questions. This is crazy. Take a look at this footage, comment below, tell me what you think.
I feel like no matter where I go, 10 times a day, I find myself asking myself this question. I find myself going like, hey man, is anybody else seeing this shit right now? Have I stepped into a parallel fucking universe or something? Asking myself this question. I find myself going like, hey man, is anybody else seeing this shit right now? Have I stepped into a parallel fucking universe or something?
What is this falling out the sky?
Nah, look, that shit got that.
Alright. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. I didn't talk too much. It was just a lot of stuff going on with this world, so I figured I'd let you guys all soak it in. We're getting it from all directions, and you know, my fiance doing some girls' butt. It's a favorite part of my body is a butt, girl's butt, of course. And I'll always be back for more. If you guys got any videos that you want me to react to, drop the links, drop the comments down below. Videos you can send to negativecreep504@gmail.com, and I'll be back again probably tomorrow. Alright? I hope you guys stay well.